So, MotoTales here. You can see it, we're at Lake Junaluska. Junaluska. How you say that? I guess that's right. So we're going to do the road today called Rattler. And it's a named road, so that means it gets judged more harshly than a road that doesn't have a name. It's Route 209. It's between Lake Junaluska and Hot Springs, North Carolina. About 30 to 35 miles from here to there. There are a few little towns. I'm looking at the map here. Crabtree, Science Creek, Luck, and Trust. Bluff, you know. Okay, you get a couple little towns. The section that looks the most exciting is between Spring Creek and Hot Springs. You can see right there, it is super squiggle. We like the super squiggle. Part 4 that looks pretty good too though. Anyway, let's go. The Rattler. 2,535 feet at the moment before we start going up anything. This is a Sunday, so it's not the greatest day to do this kind of thing, because there'll be a lot of traffic on it, but it is early, so that was my compromise, was if I have to do it on a Sunday, I'm going to try to do it early. It's not the first time I've gone across here. It's not the first time I've done this road, but it will be the first time that I've done it in this direction. Like, I've done it from Hot Springs to down to Lake Junaluska, but I've never done it the other way around, you know, Junaluska back to Hot Springs. So it's going to be different in that regard anyway. So we are, like I said, we are going to judge this road a little harsher than I would normally because it has a name. You know, if a road gets popular enough that somebody gives it a name and it sticks, and you know, stickers and all that kind of stuff, then it deserves to be judged as harshly as any other road with a name would be. You know, like the Diamondback or Corstel the Dragon or Back of the Dragon. The criteria to judge those kind of roads is it curvy, obviously. Is there a lot of elevation changes, you know, up and down mountains, that kind of thing, because that tends to lead itself toward curves. And does it have a crap ton of turnoffs and boring parts and, you know, all that kind of stuff in the middle, place stuff. Basically the kind of stuff that makes cautiously aggressive riding on a twisty mountain road more dangerous than it would be otherwise. So of course it's on a 0 to 10 scale, 10 being Tail of the Dragon, just because that, I know people will argue about this, but it is the best road on the East Coast. Until somebody points out a road to me that's better, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So that's 10. And a 0, of course, would be any interstate. But alright, so this is good. Got a lot of signs that say no trucks. That usually means really steep curves ahead, which we all know and love. The more of those signs you see, the happier it makes you. Alright, so we're trying to work our way around some of the traffic we're caught up with. So you can see in front of us is mountains. That's where we're going. So that already gets me excited, because anytime you're going into mountains like this, you know that you're going to have some good roads. Oh look, there it is. It says Ride to Rattler starts here, next 24 miles. Alright, so it's 24 miles of the good stuff. We're officially on the good stuff now. There on the map, we're about to go into the squiggly bits. Squiggly bits! I remember that basically we should go up and down one mountain, and then there's sort of a valley in between, and we go across another mountain. Tighter and more squiggly than this mountain. Oh, mountain roads, how I love you. And usually there's some turnoffs here that I'm really not a fan of, just because, you know, you come out on one of these curves and then somebody's pulling out, then everything gets all exciting all at once. A fun little section right here. And there's not a lot of signs. Like a lot of these roads will have signs for about every curve that say, oh, you know, maximum safe speed on this curve is 25 or whatever. This one I have not. Nope. You'll have to pay more attention than normal. You should be paying attention anyway. Like, you shouldn't be using those signs. You never know when one's going to be missing, but they're nice to have. That's all I'm saying. Alright, so we're headed down now. Let's see what the elevation was there real quick. This is 3,800 feet. So we gained about 1,000 feet of elevation just then. Coming down into the valley now. So this is still curvy and good. But if you notice, there's houses pretty much around every turn. Yeah, I know some people don't care, but I try not to ride aggressively when I'm close to houses just because it's rude. You know, you don't want to be sitting in your living room and hear some in line going by a red line. Or you don't want to hear some two-cylinder going by a red line. Hey, this guy's going to turn off. Turn it off just for me, or he actually turned it off? It's turned off for me. Thank you. We're well populated here. There's a lot of houses, a lot of turn-offs. So that's definitely when I heard this school. Perfect. We got cows. I almost feel like I might need two different scales. Just like, you know, cruising road and sport bike kind of road, I guess. But there's a sign. It says Trust General Store and Cafe that is open. Sounds like a good place to stop for me. Country kitchen, local crafts, sporting supplies. So, here in the little tiny town of Trust, I just had probably the best breakfast biscuit I've ever had. It's just a bacon, egg, and cheese, but it was like an over easy fried egg and really thick, really good bacon and really good cheese. So it was good. Anyway, there's a little sign there. It says Hot Springs, 15 miles. So we got 15 miles of squiggleness between us and our destination. If I remember right, there's a restaurant right here in this big straightaway in the valley here. It does burgers and stuff. It's pretty good too. Big old straightaway. Lots of room to clear out traffic if you're behind somebody. Alright, so we're about to get into the curb bit. And I do remember this being very curvy. The first time I ever rode this road, I found it completely by accident, which I think speaks to my level of research I do. I look at the road and find squiggly lines and say, oh, let's go try that one. And then I get here and I find out, oh, a lot of people already know about this and it has a name. Fellas. Perfect. I would check the elevation right now, but I have no good point. No, it's not 3,800 feet right here. Yeah, there we go. It's 1,900 feet. So at the highest, we were about 3,800 feet and dropped down to 1,900 feet here. The left-hander that goes on forever, followed by the right-hander that goes on forever. Very steep now. This will be the absolute curviest part of this road. Very curvy up here. Oh, Lord. Running out of clearance in that turn. And in that one. This part is awesome. This is super curvy. So curvy, I don't think I've really rolled it throttle hard once. This is a busy road. It's off to the right there. Whoa! Man, man. This is the fun road right here. This section of it, especially. I think we're out of the national forest now. I just saw a post office box or a mailbox. So, man, that is busy. That's fun. I like that. That's good. That little section right there. I don't know how many miles that was. I guess 3 or 4 maybe. That part was especially busy. only about a mile from Hot Springs. I mean, it's still curvy. This, like, you know, this section is still curvy. Fun, but you know, we're back into the residential stuff. And after you go through that one section where there's just you and all you can focus on is the road because it's kind of takes the fun out of this part. So we're coming into the town of Hot Springs, and that's going to mark the end of this ride. So, but what am I going to rate this road? Alright, so as a curvy rider, or like, as a true rider's road, or a pure rider's road, you know, curvy, fun, that kind of thing, that little section right there at the end is by far the best. You know, that little section by itself gets like a 9. It's just not all that long. You know, like I said, it's only 3 or 4 miles. The rest of the ride is more cruiser kind of speed. You know, it's a lot of open, a lot of pretty, you know, and then you get to the next mountain and that's pretty fun for a little bit. So overall, I'm going to give it 6.8, just because pretty much through the whole thing there are houses and people and businesses, and then you got the long stretch in the middle that, you know, it's just big straightaways basically going through that valley. So 6.8 overall. Absolutely worth the time to come and ride it though, especially if you're going to be in the area, because there are tons of good roads in the area that have names and don't have names. All kinds of good stuff. So that's going to do it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Tell me about other rides. Tell me what you think about this ride. But do all that stuff, because every time you do, it gets me one step closer to being able to go and do the next cool thing, which I can't wait to do and share with you. So thanks for watching. Have a good ride. Look at that. Beautiful. Have a good day.